Hello, hello. Good morning. Weekly update, October 4th, 2025. I'm a little sweaty. I'm a little sweaty because I just got done with a run. But this week's highlight definitely was this one set I did on Thursday. Um, it was at this it's at this place called Trash Panda. It's a bar. And so when I got there a little later than I normally do. I got there at I don't know, maybe like 10:15, 10:30. And normally the mic is started by that point. But when I got there this particular time, it looked like everything was getting wrapped up because the host was like messing with the cord and everything for the microphone when I was coming in. And so I walked up to him and it's like, "Is it over?" He's like, "Oh no, no, I'm just getting set up." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And so it was pretty interesting. It was pretty fun because like there were no comics there for like the first 30 minutes from when I got there. Um, that like I was kind of looking at the host and I was like, is it really just gonna be me and you? Like, where are all the comics? Right. And so because of that, slowly one comic after another started to trickle in from wherever they were coming from. And by the time the mic started, there's four of us, four comics, including the host. So the host and then three other comics. And so because there were so few of us, um, the host Jay, he was giving everybody 10 minutes because like we needed time because other comics were on their way. They weren't there yet. I guess there was a show earlier that day, and there were different shows that day, and so other comics were at those shows, and they're trying to make this mic now. And so he needed extra time. The host, like, he needed us to stretch the mic out a bit because there was a good crowd there too, and he didn't want the crowd to leave, and he didn't want the mic to be over for the crowd to then leave, and he didn't want to start the mic up again later. So it's like, you got 10 minutes. He's like, can you do 10 minutes? I'm like, I'll try, you know? And so I went through my joke journal, right? I went through my joke journal because, all my material was in there. I have some stuff on my phone, but I primarily do everything in my journal. And I just started going through old sets and like kind of like rehearsing them, going through them in my mind. I'm just like, yeah, I kind of remember that. And I kind of remember this. And just kind of just getting old material back and refreshed in my head because I really only had maybe 3 to 4, 5 minutes of material right now that's kind of work. And some of the jokes work, honestly. Some of the jokes definitely do work. To give myself some credit. Um, and depending on the crowd and how everything is going and how fast I go through it all, it can be anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. So I was like, all right, cool. That's 3 to 5 minutes right there. Let me look at some of my old material, see if I can cobble together another 5 minutes, and then I'll open up with just talking to the audience, getting a feel for them, and that'll be like a minute or two. So then with all of that, I should have more or less 10 minutes worth of material, and interaction with the audience. And so that's how it started. I went up there. I went up there and I'm just like, just talk to the audience. Just talk to the audience. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? How's it going? How's your night? Um, and what was pretty cool was that like there were two tables. There's tables interspersed all over the place, right? But if the mic is right here, there were two tables like right there, and then there were more tables all the way back here. And those two tables, like basically two of the three closest tables in the whole bar patio area. Um, they were really communicative. They were very talkative in a good way, right? Like they weren't interrupting me, but they were playing along, right? And so it was really nice to just kind of like vibe off of them, and talk with them and everything. And I actually made everybody laugh by just talking to the crowd, which is a good thing, but then it's also frustrating for me too. And I've mentioned this before in these updates, which is that when I go on stage, when I go on stage and I just talk to the crowd, I always make them laugh. nine times out of 10. Sometimes I don't when the crowd is just not feeling me, or they're tired, or I don't know. Just it's one of those things. Like they're not feeling me, or they're not tired, or they're just very set in their ways, you know. Um, but most of the time when I talk to the crowd, I get them to laugh. And I don't know how I do it. I really don't. And I've mentioned this to comics before, and I've thought about this a fair amount myself. And it's like, how do you go on stage and perform being authentic, or do you just go up there and be authentic? It just I don't know. I don't know. It's an ongoing question. It's an ongoing debate as to how to answer that question for me. But I go up there and I talk to these two tables and I make them laugh by just interacting with them. They're having fun. I'm having fun. And I do that. I thought I was going to do it for like a minute or two. I was up there, I'd say probably anywhere from probably 7 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes. It was at least 5 minutes. It was at least 5 minutes. I was talking to them for a fair bit, because then when I finally got into my material, I only got like halfway through the material of the first set of that 3 to 5 minutes. I only got through like half of it before I got the light. I was like, oh crap. I spent a lot more time talking to the audience than I realized. But it was cool though, because, you know, I got 10 minutes. And I went up there and I made the crowd laugh, albeit interactively, crowd work, as it's known in the biz. I did crowd work for like 6 to 7 minutes, got the crowd in a good mood, got them to laugh. They clapped. You know, one of the guys in the table on one of those two front tables is just like they said. After I got off, like he went on too early. He went on too early. I was just like, thank you. Like I should have went on later. You know, like they wanted more time to talk to me, but that was cool. It was really, really cool. It was nice. And this is something that I've definitely mentioned before in the updates into comics, which is that like I'm I will give myself an okay pass for crowd work. Like I am okay at crowd work. I'm not saying I'm good. I'm not saying I know everything, but I am saying compared to other comics that I've seen talk to a crowd, I'm I don't want to say I'm better, but I'm more proficient in my opinion. In my opinion, fuck it. In my opinion, I'm better than a lot of other comics I see go on stage and try to do crowd work, you know? And I enjoy it though. I enjoy crowd work because you're just talking to people and you're interacting with them and you're getting to know them. And it's the social dynamics are such that like if I talk to them to a degree, they're encouraged to talk back, right? Because like I got the microphone and this is a show. And if I'm talking to you, like it means you can talk to me, right? So people open up pretty quickly. There's also the indifference as well, because it's like a show. So the spotlight's not on them, it's on me. Um they're kind of like ancillary to the show. As a result, they can kind of say whatever they want. Um and it's on me to like work with that, right? And for whatever reason, just me being me on stage with people, it gets laughs, and it gets genuine laughs, and not only that, people enjoy it too. You know, so I just thought of something funny I had said. Um, but that was nice. It was nice. And then I did my material after like all of that talking. And the material, it worked, but it didn't work as well. And in reflecting on that, I was like, oh, I should have just went right into my material, because I prefaced it of just like, all right, I'm gonna do my material now. They're like, oh, okay, cool. Silence, material. Like it was very contrived and forced, right? It didn't come off as genuine. I should have just been talking to the crowd and then mentioned like something related to my set, and then kind of just go into my set from there. So that way it looks like we're still just talking, you know. But oh well, oh well. That's what you go up there and you make the mistakes for, is to learn to not to do them, or learn to not to make them. Um, so that was a good set. I'm happy with that set, honestly. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with this week. I didn't do as many mics as I wanted to because I was pretty busy at work again, staying up late. Not necessarily because I want to, but because just, you get out of work at 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. You haven't eaten, then, I want to eat. And if I go to a mic, by the time I get to the mic, it's going to be like 12:45. So it's going to be really late. And I can go on really late, but I'm tired and I'm full of food and I kind of just really want to go to sleep. And then it's also like, do I really want to go out that late for a mic that is like dead? It's hard to say. Sometimes it's not dead. It's hard to say. The mic, my last mic on Thursday, that was a dead mic. I literally performed for one comic. One comic. So, oh well. Oh well. But all right. That's been my time. Thank you very much for watching. I just went for a run before I realized I needed to make this. So I just came right back in Vanessa and recorded it. So that's why I'm dressed this way and I'm a little sweaty. Not as sweaty anymore, but oh well, whatever. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you would like to do so. And as always, God bless.